Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Detroit Tigers. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 7 to 8 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. One of the best matchups of the year. We ended up having this matchup a few days ago, and the Tigers got the best of us with Tarek Skubal. So we'll see what we can end up doing here with Kirby and Skubal part 2. Let's see what we can get done here. So let's get into the music, and we'll get into the starting lineups. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday. And on the thumb, on the left, we got George Kirby. And on the right, you already know who it is. Arguably the best pitcher in baseball, Tarek Skubal. Now let's get into the starting lineup here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. And congratulations to Victor Robles. We made him feel at home in Seattle and ended up signing a 2-year extension with the Mariners. So we are very, very happy. Regardless if there's injuries to Julio this year, next year, the following year, or if he takes over in right field, we are very, very happy to have Victor Robles. Let's go. Leading off for the Mariners at center field with a new extension, Victor Robles. Batting second, playing left field for the Mariners, it is Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Let's get it, baby. Batting third, playing first base, the former Dodger, Red Sox, and Blue Jay, it's JT Justin Turner. We're going to need a big series out of you, JT. Batting cleanup, batting fourth in his second game back. First game, DH. Second game, DH. It may be a few games before we see him in center field, before he has his legs. His first game, he ended up going 0 for 5. Hopefully, he'll do a little bit better today. At least go 1 for 4, especially if you're going to be going against Skubal. In the cleanup role, the 4-hitter, Julio Rodriguez. And it sounds like J.P. Crawford is a few weeks away, but at least we got one of our pieces back in the lineup. Let's go, Julio. We're going to need you. Batting fifth, playing right field, Mitch Haniga. Let's go, Mitch. You've been an unsung hero in the last month. Let's keep that hot streak going. Batting sixth, playing second base tonight, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Batting seventh, catching tonight for Cal Raleigh with the connection with George Kirby, Mitch Garver. And hopefully Mitch can go at least 1 for 4. We're going to need his bat to be alive today. And hopefully his defense as well with Kirby on the mound. Got to take care of those wild pitches. Batting eighth, playing shortstop for the Mariners, Leo Rivas. And batting ninth, playing third base for Seattle, Hollywood, Josh Rojas. And on the mound for the Mariners, with an 8-8 record, a ERA of 3.13. It's a kind of a toss-up if it's him or Logan Gilbert as our best pitcher overall. It's usually a 1A or 1B. You know who it is. It is George Kirby. Let's go, baby. We're going to need a good performance out of you today going against Skubal. We need George to go 6 innings, and hopefully he gives up 3 runs or less. And the magic number for the Mariners will be 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And I don't expect to get a lot against Skubal, maybe 1 or 2 if we're lucky. And then we're going to have to pick up another 1 or 2 runs, 3 or 4 hits after Skubal Best case scenario, we can get Scooball out by the 5th inning or earlier, and that way we can start raking. If he ends up going 6 or 7, it could end up being a little ugly later on this evening. But hopefully it ends up being a great pitching matchup. Each pitcher is close to 10 Ks, and then the bats will come alive maybe after the original starters go out. We'll see if our bullpen can hang on. Now let's get into the starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off for the Tigers in right field, Matt Vierling. Welcome back to the lineup. DHing for the Detroit Tigers, Kerry Carpenter. Batting third, playing second base, Colt Keith. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Gio Urshela. Batting fifth, playing first base, Bly Madris. Batting sixth, playing center field, my favorite Tiger player in this particular lineup, Parker Meadows. And he was a killer against the Mariners last week. And if they didn't have Parker Meadows robbing home runs and getting big RBIs and homers, maybe we would have won a little bit more, but you got to give a shout out to the up-and-coming prospect, Parker Meadows. Keep an eye out for him. Batting seventh, catching tonight for Detroit with the stash, Jake Rogers. Batting eighth, playing left field, Zach McKinstry. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for the Tigers, Javier Baez. And on the mound for the Tigers, arguably the best pitcher in the big leagues, not named Chris Sale or Paul Skeens, with a 13-4 record, ERA of 2.57. Correct. Scooball. All right, I see you, Scoo. Comerica Park in the building. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. We're going to shoot for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I had to battle through and overcome, but I know a lot of people in the room and people that are watching are going through it right now or have in the past. So if you're slipping into the darkness, make some minor adjustments to your daily routine. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Listen to 30 minutes of music every day. Spend time with your pets and family and friends, and you'll be able to come out the other side a little bit quicker and win the day. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Detroit Tigers. First pitch upcoming here in just a moment. Let's get it, baby. And I got a chance to catch up on the Umbrella Academy. I just finished it. I ended up watching an amazing episode of Monday Night Raw yesterday. Got to watch that with Paisley. And then on top of that, got to watch the Dodgers go at it against the Brewers yesterday on the road. Mookie Betts, first game back, hit a home run. And so did Shohei Ohtani, 5-2 final. So I was considering doing that Dodger matchup, but I figured, I would take some time with just me and Paisley. Scooball right down the middle to Victor Robles. That one fouled back. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Victor. Big swing and a miss from Scooball to Victor Robles, behind in the count early, 0-2. And that is not something that you see that often, with Victor Robles getting behind in the count or striking out, popping up, or grounding out early. Pitch right down the zone for strike number 3. And there goes Victor Robles. But again, when you're playing one of the best pitchers in baseball, you can't expect a whole lot. So this could end up being potentially pretty low scoring for Seattle. 3 runs or less is pretty plausible. Last time we played Scoo, I think we got 2. So we just got to make sure that they don't give up, a lot on the hitter side. We can't have them getting 4, 5, 6, 7 runs if Scoo's on the mound. So we'll see what we can do. Next up, Randy Rosarena. Let's go, Randy. Pitches inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Scoo. We're going to need this lineup to get going, and we don't have Cal Raleigh in the lineup, obviously taking a day off since Mitch Garver is catching. And for whatever reason, Scott Service believes that Mitch Garver and George Kirby are a good pairing. I'm not really sure how George feels about that. I would assume George would rather have Cal Raleigh being his catcher rather than the backup Mitch Garver. But, somebody's got to be able to, have that connection. Pitch right down the middle to Randy Arozarena. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Scoo. MSU in the building. Daniel in the building. What's good? Kevin and Brandy in the building. How are you? But obviously going into this matchup, highly unlikely the Mariners win, regardless if it's in Seattle or Detroit, just being honest. And I would say the same thing, if we ended up having Skeens, which we're going to have on Paisley's birthday on Friday on the road, I would assume we would probably lose that one as well. If we ended up playing Chris Sale, that's kind of the same thing. And it's not like Chris Sale and Skeens and Scooball are, impossible to beat. But if you're looking at their record and you're looking at their pitch count and you're looking at how they rough other teams up, it's not that likely. I mean, can you end up getting a win? Yes. But if you ended up playing the pitcher 4 times, maybe you win 1 time. I think that would be a realistic call. You're not going to beat these type of guys that often. And especially if the run support is there for Scoo, then it's a no-brainer. If there's no run support, then it could come down to the wire, right? That one has popped up, and that was a very easy 1-2-3 inning there for the Tigers. So hopefully, for the Mariners' sake, we can hold the Tigers to 3 runs or less. If they end up getting 4 runs or more with Scoo, the game is over, more than likely, unless we can match that production. But that would mean we'd have to have some monster innings against Scoo to get him out of the game before the 6th, like in the 4th or the 5th. He starts to lose a little control, and then we can rough him up for maybe a run. He gets pulled, or maybe 2, and then he gets pulled. And if that doesn't happen, then we got to make sure we're roughing up the Tigers bullpen. We tried to do it last time in that 3-game series, and we were essentially 1 strike away from getting swept. So really, 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits is going to be a priority in every single game, regardless who's on the mound for us. And when you're going against Scoo, knowing that he is arguably the best pitcher in the game. I mean, if I'm going to go down the pitchers, I think Chris Sale is amazing. He can end up getting 10 to 12 Ks. Skeens has had one of the best rookie performances out of a pitcher, being #1 pick that I've ever seen. Much better than Steven Strasburg, as long as he can keep his arm healthy. No Tommy John within the next 5 to 10 years. But if I had to put, my money on one individual, I'm going to go with Tarek Scooball as the best pitcher in baseball. So hopefully we can see a way through this, but it might be very, very tough. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first and see who's up for the Tigers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Let's get 20 likes within the first hour. And again, we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Nice to see Kerry Carpenter back in the lineup. I know you guys have missed him for quite some time. Great to see him there for you guys. Leading off for the Tigers, right fielder Matt Bierling. Batting second, DHing for Detroit. Welcome back, Kerry Carpenter. So they're starting to do kind of the same thing with Julio, but leaving him at DH at first, and then we'll see where he goes. And batting third, another left-hander that's up and coming, second baseman Colt Keith. A lot of young up-and-coming prospects with this Tiger team. Bierling, that one pop foul behind in the count 0-1. Yeah, just right when you ended up getting one guy back, and now Winsell Perez might be done for the season. Unfortunate, but that's kind of how injuries go. And I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing you guys, being up to par, healthy, even though you guys didn't have Carpenter, and obviously you're still waiting on a few other individuals with some injuries to kind of heal up. Primarily, obviously, you got Reese Olson, Riley Green, Casey Mize. So Casey Mize might be done. That's 60-day IL. Riley Green, 10-day. Reese Olson, obviously, on the 15-day IL. Q back towards the end of August, beginning of September. And even though Winsell Perez is on the 10-day IL, September 10th is supposedly when he might be able to come back, but we'll wait and see. Little dribbler towards third base. Rojas to first, safe. Bierling runs it out. PJ in the building, what's good? Nice run by Matt Vierling to first base. Exit velo 104.1. And again, Rojas did his best to be able to smother that baseball. But anytime you end up having a bobble at third, if you run hard, even if you're slow, even if you're overweight, you can find a way to get to first. It doesn't have to be, the fastest player, leading off. You can be, kind of a normal sized guy, or a guy that normally might be in the 2-hole or the 3-hole or the 4-hole. Nice hustle there by Matt Vierling. Next up, Kerry Carpenter. You got to stay away from the walks and the hit by pitches. A lot of strategy is going to go involved. And again, you got two of the, maybe top 15 pitchers overall. I mean, sometimes with George Kirby, he'll pitch like a, top 10 pitcher. Sometimes, he'll be like a top 30 pitcher if he gets roughed up. And even though his record is 8-8, he's got an ERA of 3.13. But a lot of that's not his fault. It's just the fact that we can't get enough run support for a lot of our pitchers. His real record should probably be something like, I would say something fair, like not crazy, like 14-2 or anything like that. He's not that good, but I would say 10-6, 2 more wins, 2 less losses, a little bit more run support. I think that would be a, kind of a fair number for George Kirby if he actually got the bats to, be there for him on a regular basis. 10 or 11 wins. He's been that good this year. Pitches outside. The Carpenter, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But nice to see Carpenter and Julio back in the lineup for our respective teams. Yeah, I wish we didn't have to go against Scoob like, night number 1, like right out of the gates. Like we don't even get a chance to prepare, and I don't even get Cal Raleigh. So I think we're definitely at a disadvantage. If we could have Cal at the DH, or if Cal was the catcher, that would give us a better chance, because Cal's one of the best catchers overall in baseball, offensively and defensively. So I'm not really sure what we're going to get out of Mitch Garver here tonight as our backup catcher. He can't really hit. So, it would be not shocking if he goes 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, or maybe if we're lucky, 1 for 4 or 1 for 5. But I do get a little nervous with him catching, because he's not as good as throwing guys out at second. Compared to Cal Raleigh, not even close, as well as smothering the baseballs, so that way the runners don't go from first to second, second to third. And again, no matter how good our pitchers are, sometimes they'll get a little wild. Nice punch out there by George Kirby on Kerry Carpenter's first at-bat here against the Mariners. Welcome back. And hopefully he'll end up getting at least a hit for you guys before the game is up. Next up, second baseman Colt Keith. Nice job, George. Mariner Moose is out with that K, and hopefully we can get somewhere between 4 to 7 Ks out of George Kirby. If this was a couple years ago, we would be shooting for 10 Ks, for every pitcher that we have. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Luis Castillo, and Bryce Miller. But again, even though it's a pitching league, it seems like a lot of hitters have been able to rough our guys up. So 4 to 7 Ks, a lot of pop-ups and ground outs, and hopefully not a lot of hit by pitches and walks, and we can keep this game close. And hopefully the final score will be with a little bit of action. We want the pitchers to do well, but I don't think anyone really wants to see a 1-0 game or a 2-1. So I'm going to be shooting for like a 4-3 kind of game. So, I don't think we're going to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we do, that'll probably be the Tigers with that. But if we can keep it close, for a majority of the game, another punch out there by Kirby. There we go. 2 away. And then hopefully we'll have a chance late in the matchup. Nice job, George. 42 Ks already. Great start for George Kirby. Watch out for that knuckle curve, baby. Next up for the Tigers, third baseman Gio Urshela. First pitch strike. He goes after it all the way to Victor Robles in center field. Bierling going to third. Out, baby. Oh, he dropped it. Shit. Oh, he was going to be out. Oh, Rojas with the blunder. Obviously, that bobble, on that first initial play at third base where Vierling was first, and now Vierling going to third. If he just hung on to that throw, he would have been out at third by quite a bit. Nice aggressive base running by Matt Vierling. And Gio Urshela going after that first pitch strike. And Rojas, you got to keep your eye on the ball, not the eye on the runner. My God. Come on, Rojas, you're better than that. Yeah, that is a nice lineup to start the season. If everyone could have stayed healthy. And then now you look at it from the beginning of the season of where you're at now. A lot of things can change, from April, May to obviously now in August for sure. Let them know. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's get it, baby. PJ in the building. What's good? Big swing and a miss behind in the count 0-2 to Madris. All right, we're at double digits. We hit 10. About half of you have smashed the like button so far. Little dribbler up the middle, and that's going to be an RBI for Madris. Here comes Matt Vierling, 1-0. Detroit, great start for Detroit right out of the gates. All right, we're at 12. We got 10 people in the room that haven't smashed the like button yet. Please do. If we can get 8 of those people, we'll be at our first goal of 20 likes within the first hour. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Takes 1 second. And it'll help our metrics and our algorithm and help recommend more people to this matchup. Runners on the corners, and my favorite Tiger is up to bat. Center fielder, Parker Meadows. This guy can rob home runs like Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone. He has a crafty lefty, and he can hit singles, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs. I really like Parker Meadows. He was the MVP besides Skoo, obviously, in that series where we almost got swept if it wasn't for late inning heroics. And obviously, Mitch Haniger coming through at the very end of the game with a bases loaded clearing double. And then we were 1 strike away from getting swept from the Tigers. So at least we won 1. But I think a lot of us Mariner fans thought we could win 2 out of 3 at home. But Detroit played very, very well on the road. So you got to give them all the credit. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Detroit. With Skoo on the mound, George Kirby on our side. Runners down the corners on first and third with 2 outs. 2-0 pitch, 2 balls and no strikes to Parker Meadows. Parker, line drive, throw to first, and we're out of the inning, but the damage is done. Gio Urshela with the early inning RBI for Vierling to come home, 1-0 Detroit. Reflect in the building, David in the building. Kevin, appreciate you. Let them know. Let's go, baby. See who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners, DHing in the cleanup spot, went 0 for 5 2 days ago in his debut. Hopefully better than that today. Hopefully at least 1 for 4. I'm not sure if he'll get 5 at-bats, but we'll find out. Julio Rodriguez. And we've missed your energy. We've missed your bat. We've missed your defense. We've missed your smile. But hopefully we can find a way for you to get into some type of rhythm until you are able to play center field. But luckily we got Victor Robles. He got the 2-year extension. Well-deserved. And we're still waiting on one of our leaders in J.P. Crawford. A couple weeks away. And then we'll be finally, hopefully, full strength at that time. And we'll see what we can do. But, to be able to have a Victor Robles, it's kind of crazy because normally when you lose a Julio Rodriguez, all things go to hell. But in all honesty, we didn't really miss him. If anything, we were getting better production out of Victor Robles playing center field than we were with Julio at the beginning of the year. But right before the Julio injury, Julio was playing like Victor Robles. His numbers were going up and he was starting to play like his normal self. But again, now with the injury and having to kind of rehab and, get his legs and his arms and his eyes all locked and loaded on being back in the box, and then eventually, being that center field no-fly zone, guy that we count on. I'm happy that we end up having someone that can replace Julio for the time being, and then obviously can add another piece to that outfield. We can always move Robles to right field when Julio's healthy. Then we have Randy Arozarena in left, Julio in center, and then obviously we'll have Robles in right, which would mean a little bit less of Mitch Haniger, Luke Raley, Demo playing right field platooning. But obviously those three are going to be the best three outfielders for the no-fly zone. Big facts. Let's go, baby. How are you, Reflect? Hope you're doing well. No Cal Raleigh today. And I wonder, how George feels about that, to be like one of the only pitchers that typically doesn't get Cal on a regular basis. And, it kind of seems like there's certain pitchers, that are linked with Garver. It all depends on the rotation in the day who will get Garver. But it just seems like a lot of times, it'll be like Logan or it'll be like George. And I'm not really sure how all the pitchers feel. I mean, if they're being honest, they probably would be honest saying, I'd rather have Cal because Cal's the better catcher offensively and defensively. But for Garver's defense, he's better than Sebi Zavala. Obviously Sebi couldn't really hit either. So it really comes down to, can he smother the baseballs and not give up, those extra, stolen bags and those extra runners advancing off a wild pitch, and obviously being able to call a good game. So that way we're not getting down 3-0, 5-0, 6-0, where it's not going to be attainable to be able to come back. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Let's go, baby. Derek Scooble. 1-2 count. The Demo with a runner at second. Strike three. Got him. I got to switch this up real quick. Nice job by Julio to be able to get a hit, and again, after you end up going, 0 for 5, it definitely would derail a lot of guys. So I'm happy that he's able to get going here early. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dylan Moore. After Haniger ended up getting out. Julio with a nice base knock. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Demo. Pitch on the corner. Low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, and plus not having Cal, being able to bat or, throw guys out, when they're trying to steal. Because you're not going to get Garver to throw anybody out typically in a game. And Cal sometimes will throw multiple guys out, 1 to 3. So, we're not really going to get the same type of defense, and we're not going to get the same type of bat. But hopefully we can find a way, unless they end up inserting Cal as a pinch, hitter late in the game, which is possible, unless they just give him the whole day off. I guess it just depends on what the score is once we get to the 7th inning. Big punch out from Scoo. Derek Scooble, best pitcher in baseball. Not going to be easy here tonight. Nice job, Scoo. 13-4 record, ERA at 2.57. Him, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, those are your 3 best pitchers in baseball. Anytime you go against those 3, slim pickings. And here goes Garver. Popped up. And the Julio hit was all for nothing, but at least Julio is getting on track. And Scoo ends the inning very, very quickly. 1-0 Detroit. Let's see who's up next for the Tigers. Next up for the Tigers in the 7-hole, catcher Jake Rogers. Look at that mustache. Handlebar. Go get him a Harley or an Indian. I see you. Batting second in the 8-hole, left fielder Zach McKinstry. And batting third in the 9-hole, shortstop Javier Baez. All right, Veerling. See if they get up to you after that. Let's go, baby. Yeah, and again, we don't really have the best lineup. When I looked at the card, this morning, it's like, okay, we got Robles, Arozarena, Turner, Rodriguez, fine. But then you go Haniger, Demo, Garver, Rivas, Rojas. That doesn't sound very good. You know what I mean? There's quite a few guys that are not playing in the lineup. No Luke Raley, no Cal Raleigh, even though Luke has been kind of up and down. Ryan Bliss had a little bit of a moment. Obviously you're not getting him. No Polo in the lineup either. And obviously we know Polo's defense is suspect, even though he had the probably defensive play of the year with him and Rivas a couple days ago. So if you're actually looking at the lineup, and I know it's crazy for me to complain that Polo is not in the lineup, but I mean, we need to be able to hit against Skoo, and to have Haniger, Demo, Garver, Rivas, Rojas, that seems like a lineup to me that might be on a rubber match, like, the last matchup of the series where maybe you've won one, maybe you are about to get swept, and then that's kind of like the last lineup until you move on to go play whoever, and you're on a little bit of a road trip. This is not game one material starting lineup. I haven't seen us start off a game one with Haniger, Demo, Garver, Rivas, and Rojas. So, I mean, if we're looking at the lineup and we're just being honest, on a scale of A to F, it's probably like a C lineup. It definitely could have been much better, having Rayleigh or Polo or Cal added to this lineup to give us a better chance. But let's be honest, even if we had Rayleigh, Cal catching and hitting, and Polo in the lineup, realistically, we're probably going to lose to Skoo no matter what. But I want to give us the best chance to win, and I'm not sure if this particular lineup gives us the best chance. And now we got to hope that Kirby can, hold it to 3 runs or less. If the Tigers get to 4, we're screwed. So bottom of the second, 1-0 Detroit. We just got to make sure their bats don't go too crazy. Easier said than done. Jake Rogers here in the box. 2 balls and 1 strike in the bottom of the second, 1-0 Detroit. And if you're just tuning in, Blake Madris singled to center. Veerling scored Urshela to third to give him a 1-0 lead. Big swing and a miss to get it 2 balls and 2 strikes. I would like to see us bunt a couple times today too, but I don't know if we're going to get that. And maybe bunting is off the table when you're going against the best pitcher in baseball, but it shouldn't be. I think it would be a good test for Skoo to see how his defense is, if they end up hitting it right to him or down the first or third baseline. Because if you got some speed, it doesn't have to be like Ryan Bliss or Rivas bunting to use that speed to get to first. I mean, you could end up doing it with like Robles or anybody, but sometimes you got to think outside the box, and hopefully we'll attempt a couple bunts here today. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Detroit. Next up is Zach McKinstry. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's go, baby. Let's get to that 20 like number. That's what I was thinking. Why not bunt him over? And again, I mean, if we're the number 1 strikeout team, even though it's been better since we got Robles and Arozarena and Turner, right? And now we got Julio back. But still, with that being said, I feel that, bunting is a good part of the baseball strategy. It's like a kind of a piece of the game that is lost. And you're not going to see a lot of guys steal home and sacrifice squeezes. You're not going to see certain plays as often. But again, I think bunting is like one of the things that most teams don't practice anymore, or they don't really execute that well. But some teams that bunt, they get on base almost every single time. So, I mean, if you got a good percentage of bunting, and let's say you can bunt, and out of 10 times, you're getting on base like 6 times or 7 times, why not implement that into the daily strategy regardless of who's pitching? Swing and a miss. throw to first. A nice job by Mitch Garver not trying to throw that run exactly on the line. Otherwise, it would have hit him in the back, and that would have been a free base. So I like what I'm seeing so far out of Mitch Garver as our backup catcher. Could have made a big significant error there. Next up, Javier Baez. Broken bat, little dribbler, throw to first, nice scoop to Justin Turner. There we go. I mean, low-scoring game bunt, high-scoring game bunt, but I mean, I just feel like, you know, I like offensive line, I like defense, I like coaching, I like play calling. Like, you know, when you watch the NFL or college football, a lot of the numbers and a lot of the popularity is quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. But as a lot of us know, if you don't have an O-line or D-line, you're not winning shit. You're not moving the ball. You're not running the ball effectively. The quarterback can't go through his reads. You're not going to pass the ball. So I feel like, you know, these little pieces of the game that don't get the love, and I kind of compare the NFL's offensive line and college football's offensive line to like the catcher. And I feel like the catcher gets no love in baseball, except unless you have a really good one. And if you got a good one, it can really make all the difference, not only for your pitching staff, but overall offensively and defensively for what you have for your particular team. And luckily for us, we got one of the best catchers in baseball, even though he's not playing today. We got Mitch Garver backing up, but I want to be able to see a little bit more, you know, on the bunting side, and hopefully we'll do that, because if not, it's going to be a lot of strikeouts from Scoo and a lot of pop-ups and ground-outs. That's big facts. Agreed. And it's not, and if you notice, you know, when a lot of teams bunt, most of the time they're successful. I mean, at the very worst, when I see teams bunt, normally at the very worst, it's what, 50-50? They do it twice, maybe they get on once, but it's very rare that they bunt 3 times and they get out 3 times. Yeah, it does happen, unless you just have shitty guys that don't know how to bunt, but guys that know how to bunt typically can position the baseball well, and you know, maybe that's something that needs to be worked on in every single team. I know if I was a part of an organization like managing or an assistant, that would be the number one thing I would be working on with the players, because it's something that is a lost art that no one really does anymore. And it can help you get guys over and help you get hits and runs, especially if you're in a slump. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. We're at 10, 90 to go to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Next up is Leo Rivas. Captain Oreo in the building. What's good? Let's go Mariners. Top of the third, 1-0 Tigers. Skubal on the mound, 1-2 pitch. Pitch is outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if you're just like Captain Oreo and you're just coming in, Madris singled to center, Vierling scored, Urshela to third. And it really started off with Vierling and Urshela working together. A nice punch out from Skoo. Or for Skubal, he's so good, man. One of the best pitching matchups of the year, just like we had about a week ago. I believe we lost that matchup, 6-2? When Skubal pitched. We had a 6-2 loss and a 4-2 loss there in the early part of that series. Parker Meadows was fantastic, and we'll see what happens here in this particular matchup. But so far, it's been all Detroit. Little dribbler. Throw to first. That's way too easy. Rojas, you got to work that count, man. We need to get you back to where you were in April and May. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder, Victor Robles. And congratulations with that new contract. You got extended 2 years. You love Seattle. Seattle loves you. And sometimes you just need a change of scenery where you can end up finding a piece that maybe most people thought was trash that ended up being one of the best players on our team. not just because of his hitting and his defense, but his energy. And if you hear him talk in the interviews, it's all about energy. He's a high-energy guy. The Mariner fans are high-energy fans, and it's a match made in heaven. And I'm so happy that we have Victor Robles, let alone Randy Arozarena and Justin Turner. So sometimes when you end up having injuries to J.P. Crawford and Julio Rodriguez, sometimes you got to, have a blessing in disguise. And if both of those guys don't get hurt, maybe we don't have the team that we have here today. So, and hopefully Julio and J.P. can get back to them, their normal selves once they get inserted back in the lineup. But I'll tell you one thing, Victor Robles leading off, and normally you don't want to lose your spot based off an injury, but there is no way in hell J.P. Crawford should be leading off for this team the rest of the year. If anything, they should probably put him in the 9-hole, and that way it'll have him in the 9-hole, then Robles, Arozarena, Julio, Justin Turner, Cal Raleigh, however they want to do it. But I would be using JP somewhere in the 6 to the 9-hole. I wouldn't put him in the 1-hole and screw up the good juju that we've already built with Robles at the top of the order. And I know a lot of times people don't like to lose their spot in the order based off injury, but I feel that JP really hasn't been that great this year. He's kind of struggled. And if we have a guy that's doing well, why not, if it's not broke, why are we trying to fix it? So we'll see what they do. Realistically, they'll put JP probably in the 1 or the 2-hole, and then they'll move everybody else down. But I feel that if we ended up moving him into the 6 to the 9-hole, I think the 9-hole would be perfect because I don't think anyone would expect it. And maybe it would be a little bit of a gut punch for him to be like, dude, I'm the leadoff hitter. Why am I in the 9-hole spot? But once we get to the 9-hole, if it's 9-1-2, then you go JP Crawford, Victor Robles, Randy Arozarena. That could actually end up in some RBIs and some good quality home runs with JP at the end if he can kind of get his rhythm back. And as he gets better, then you can move him to the 8, the 7, the 6, and then eventually if you want to put him at the 1 or the 2 spot, fine. But I don't know. I want to be able to kind of work it around a little bit and be unorthodox. Don't always have to do it what everyone else tells you what to do. But we'll see what happens with JP if he ends up being the leadoff hitter or not. But I just have a feeling if we, put him in the leadoff role, he's not going to do well. He's been injured this whole time with that pinky, and there'll be a lot of pressure for him leading off. So if there's going to be a lot of pressure with you leading off, let's take that pressure away and just have you hit 6 through 9 and then just see how you do. And then based off your performance, we can move you up or down in the lineup, but we'll have to do a little wait and see. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Tigers. But I'm just trying to throw in my 2 cents, if I'm managing, or I'm, an assistant, where I would want to be able to put a player like that. And JP is traditionally a leadoff hitter only. I get it. But, sometimes you don't got to do what everyone tells you what to do, right? You got to think outside the box, especially if we're trying to beat the Astros and Rangers and win the AL West. I mean, every win is going to be so important the rest of the way out. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run, right fielder Matt Bierling. Chop foul behind the plate. 0-1 count. What is the single season record for Tigers in one season? What is the win total? The record is 17 or 18 wins. Popped up. Randy Arozarena is there, 1 away. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K. Welcome back from the injury, Gary Carpenter. And look at that. Back, gone. And one of his first appearances back for being injured for a long, long time. Gary Carpenter coming up big. Solo dinger, 2-0 Tigers. And again, if we want to be able to compete when Skoo is on the mound, we can't be giving up a lot of these plays like this. Again, we have to keep it within 3 runs or less. If the Tigers get to 4, especially with Skoo on the mound, it's pretty much game over unless we can rough up their bullpen or something happens. But again, Nice pizza on a stick there after they hit the home run. Nice job, Carey. Pitches outside to Colt Keith. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, we have to make sure we get 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we have to limit the Tigers to 3 or less, especially when Skoo is on the mound. Now, if Skoo's not on the mound, it doesn't have to necessarily be 3 or less. I feel we can, kind of compete at any level after that. But when you got the best pitcher in baseball, you don't want to give up too much. And this could end up being a similar score than the last time that we played Skoo. This might end up being in a 4-2 or 6-2 final. Little dribbler in between the gap. Tigers are hot here at Comerica. Colt Keith, another lefty up and coming. Next up, third baseman Gio Urshela, who ended up having that early RBI to bring Matt Vierling home. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. Let's see where we're at. We're approaching 1 hour, and we're at 23. Thank God. All right, we need 7 more to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we're at 24. We need 6 more to hit 30, and we want to hit somewhere between 30 and 50 overall. Thank you to all the people that have smashed the like button so far. It really has been helping the algorithm, going from 20 to 25 likes and then going from 30 to 55 likes. It's a big gap and a big difference. And obviously, YouTube recognizes the algorithm, and the more likes and the more comments and the more interaction you get, the better results that you're going to get, and also more recommendations you're going to get on the channel. Little dribbler. Rojas fucked up again. 3 errors for fucking Rojas today. You got that little dribbler at third base, fucked that one up. Then had another play where he fucked up. I don't know what's going on with Rojas, but he keeps playing like that. Demo is going to replace him at third. Not a good play again by Hollywood. 3 fuck-ups already. Bobbles. I don't think I've seen Rojas play this bad all season. Terrible. Come on, Josh. I mean, it's one thing when you're struggling, obviously hitting the baseball. You were great in April and May, hitting 300 to 350 in the 9-hole. But you haven't really been that good since. And now if you start making errors at third, you're going to get booed like Jorge Polanco did. We don't want to boo you. But again, this might be one of those things where your playing time might disintegrate, and they might just go with someone that they trust a little bit more in Dylan Moore than Hollywood Rojas, even though Hollywood probably has a bigger upside. But Demo, was he safe or out at first? Wow. And another questionable throw to first. 3-0 Detroit. Everything going Detroit's way. And again, it's one thing when you got Skoo on the mound, but again, if you're making defensive errors and you can't hit, man, it might be a long, long night. And hopefully the Mariners can win at least one game in this series. Doesn't look like it's going to be this particular game, but hopefully we can win, obviously on Wednesday and Thursday to make up for this. Next up, 0-for-1 Parker Meadows. Things falling apart for the Mariners already. But again, this is what happens when you got George Kirby on the mound with no Cal Raleigh at catcher, to defend or to be able to hit. And then you also have not the best lineup, with Haniger, Demo, Garver, Rivas, Rojas. I mean, that's a lineup that you play on a rubber match when the series is over, not in game number 1 against Scooball. I mean, so you're pretty much putting all the pressure, on Victor, Randy, Justin, and Julio. And then if you get anything out of the other 5, it's a blessing, but you're probably not. So I don't like Scott Service's method to his madness in here in game number 1. You're pretty much just giving up on game 1 already. Shitty lineup. Don't have Cal in the lineup catching. And I know that George and Garv have been working together, but that's shitty. Why did George have to get Garv? Why does any pitcher have to have Garv? But again, you got to give Cal a day off at some point or have him DH. So I know he's not a robot or a machine, but I just feel bad for our pitching staff. No one deserves to have Garv catch for them. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Detroit. Runners at first and second with one out. Parker Meadows in the box. That one chop foul. Parker got some long-ass legs out there. He looks tall as shit. Like when you actually look at Parker Meadows in the box, and obviously we've seen him rob home runs, but he definitely doesn't look on screen like 5'10", 6 foot, 6'1". I mean, when you're looking at him in the box, he looks 6'3" to 6'6" on screen. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Meadows. 2 away. MSU, how tall is Parker Meadows? What's his height? I mean, he looks huge on screen out there. Long ass legs. Good movement though. Next up, catcher, stash from the past, Jake Rogers. Pitch in the zone for a strike. 0-1 count. Yeah, no Luke Raley, no Cal, no Polo. You know, it's like you should have at least those guys in there to give us a chance. But, you know, realistically, we're going to probably lose no matter what. When Scoo's on the mound, I mean, he dominates. You have to look. I mean, he's 13-4. He's about to be 14-4. I mean, the guy doesn't lose. You know, you have to really have an A lineup. You got to have an A pitcher, and then you got to pray that, you know, can get him out by the 5th inning. And then the bullpen stinks that day, and then you can scrape one out, and you can end up beating Scoo, you know. And again, he's not going to lose. And it seems like a lot of the Tiger players play their best games when Scoo is on the mound. You know, they know that they need to win for their best pitcher in baseball. They usually don't play shitty, you know, when Scoo is pitching. At least I haven't seen him play really that shitty that often. I mean, I think it's going to be very unlikely when Scoo is on the mound where they get shut out or they only put up like 1 run. They typically are going to put up 2 or more. And as of late, they've been putting up more than that. So 4 or more. And that's kind of a recipe for success. 4 runs or more, and you got Scoo on the mound that could get you 10 to 12 Ks. That's pretty hard to beat, especially if you're not playing your best players. 6'5". I was going to say, he looks like it. If he wasn't 6'5", maybe he didn't rob that home run against us in the Mariner series, but a couple extra inches of height to be able to jump and get his whole hand and forearm and elbow over to rob it. Very cool. Count is full from Kirby to Rogers. 3-2 pitch. Rogers hit deep off the wall. 4-0 Tigers. Safe at home. Unbelievable. 5-0 Tigers, and that's what happens when you don't have Cal Raleigh playing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No disrespect to Jake Rogers, but if Jake Rogers is playing in a game that Scoo is not pitching, maybe this doesn't happen. And again, when you're starting to get good results at the end of the lineup, let alone at the top of the lineup, it's a disaster here for the Mariners. Nice job, Detroit. Next up, left fielder, Zach McKinstry. The only way that this is going to, we're going to be able to make up for this is if we end up winning the next 2 games. And I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but we better have A lineups the next 2 games. Otherwise, if we have another C lineup tomorrow or on Thursday, good night. And again, if we can't beat the Tigers, right, how the hell are we going to end up, getting first place and trying to be able to beat the Astros and the Rangers? Like, we got to be able to try to match up and win as many as possible. And I get it, on the road is a little different than at home, but this is unacceptable. Great job by the Tigers and their fan base, and they already know what it is with Scoo on the mound, but this is embarrassing, man. We need to be better than this. 2 of the 4 losses weren't even on him. They were on the relievers and the bats, and the other 2. So he's had 2 bad performances out of, 17? Yeah. That's why, and he has the most 0-2 counts out of any pitcher in baseball, more than Sale, more than Skeens, and when you look at the analytics and metrics, and he's a lefty on top of that with Sale. So, oh man, I mean, we're going to be lucky if we can even get to 2 runs today, and already 5 for the Tigers. No slowing down for them. Two-one pitch. That one chop foul. But I still got to pray that after Scoo goes out, I mean, at this point, he might not go out until like the fucking 7th inning, but if we can get him out and then we can get, the bullpen roughed up a little bit, maybe we can put up 1 to 3 runs before the game is over. But the last thing that we need is a fucking shutout. Line drive. End of the 3rd inning, 5-0 Detroit. Golly, that was tough. Let me know what you want to do for photos. If there's anything you want to be able to see reflect, we need some good juju. Man, should have been doing those bunts like I mentioned in me and reflect, Again, at this point, I mean, what do you got to lose? You're going against the best pitcher. You got a shitty CD lineup. The first 4 guys are good. The bottom 5 are terrible as far as this particular game. Now Rojas is making errors at 3rd. Tough, man. Did not expect us to play. And we don't even have any errors, but Rojas should have like 3, based on, him fucking up the play. And, hits leading to, bigger hits. And obviously things leading to RBIs that maybe could have been prevented. Oh, baby. The life of being a Mariner fan, the ups and the downs, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You got to be mentally strong to be a fan of this team, let me tell you. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Someone's got to step up for us. Batting second, 0 for 1, first baseman, Justin Turner. And batting third, 1 for 1, DHing in the 4-hole, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. And go figure, the day that Julio ends up playing well, everyone else plays like shit. That's kind of how it goes, right? Everyone does good but Julio, or then Julio ends up having a great game where he goes 3 for 4, but then everyone else does absolutely nothing. We need to be able to get our guys on the same page. But also what I've noticed, Victor Robles got that 2-year extension, and he's a perfect fit for Seattle. But when he doesn't get a hit in that first inning, usually the game doesn't really go our way. He sets the tone to what Randy and Cal and Justin Turner and Julio are going to do after. But when those games, when you have, Robles, start off the day 0 for 3, usually isn't a very good day. And a lot of times he'll end up, going 0 for 4. Maybe he'll get lucky and go 1 for 4 against one of the guys in the bullpen. But we need Robles to get a hit within the first, 3 at-bats. Otherwise, primarily in the first and second at-bat. And when he gets a hit initially, that ends up starting a run, and we usually score in the first inning or in the second inning. But, when he doesn't get a hit in those first 2 at-bats, a lot of times it's a long day, and then we got to wait for someone else to be the tone setter. And, to have Randy or Justin or Julio, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. There we go, Randy. He says, I'll be the tone setter. Top of the 4th. There we go. There we go. Nice job, Randy. He's like, I'll be the Victor Robles, even though it's the 4th inning. Here we go. There we go. Let's go, baby. Start it off, Randy. Next up, first baseman, Justin Turner. We're at 10, 90 to go. Let's go, baby. Six more likes to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. 5 more likes to 30. We're at 25. Let's get it, baby. We want to get 30 to 50 overall. All right, we got runners at first and second. We'll take that. Hit Justin Turner on the arm. Justin's been getting a hit as of late. We're not going to get shut out today. We're going to score at least 2 runs minimum, but can we get to 5, 6, 7, 8? I don't know about that. This would be a great time for Tridents up, for Julio to hit a home run, an unexpected home run, and then cut the lead down to 5-3. If that ends up happening, yes, we will have a chance to come back. But that's a lot of pressure for Julio. He went 0 for 5 yesterday. He started off his day 1 for 1 today. But if somehow, some way, by the sports gods, that he can end up hitting a homer here or sometime later today, that's probably what we're going to need to be able to come back. But against Scoo, That's a good question for the Tiger fans and MSU. How many home runs has Scoo given up all year? I'm very curious about that. I highly doubt that many. $5 holla. Yes, we do need that. Big facts. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Julio, little dribbler towards third. Double play. That's not what we wanted. Mariner Moose. Damn it. Hey, sometimes when it rains, it pours, right? We're at 15, 85 to go. But you got to believe, just like the Mariner Moose, you know, Maurice, sometimes things are going to go good. Sometimes things are going to go shitty, okay? Now we just got to be able to get some of our lower-end guys to be able to step up. Haniger, Moore, Garver, Rivas, Rojas. If we're going to come back in this game, those 5 guys got to produce. So that way, when it comes back to the top of the lineup for Victor, Randy, Justin, and Julio, then we can end up knocking them in. Let's go, Hanny. I love unexpected home runs by players you think that, you know, aren't going to do something. Haniger right up the middle, baby. There we go. Go, go, go. There we go. Justin Turner's coming home. 5-1 Tigers. Bang. Ooh. Hey, we got to celebrate something, and you called it, man. You get the Moose up there, right? We still got positive vibes. We're not going to be negative like all the other Seattle Mariner content creators bitching and moaning, complaining. You just got to go through the ups and the downs and realize who you're going against. And there we go. An unexpected hero, Mitch Haniger. Nice job. Next up, Dylan Moore. Can you do some unexpected magic and hit a 2-run blast to get the lead cut down to 5-3? Because the sooner that we can get it down to 2 runs and it's 5-3, you know, we'll have a chance. You know, but again, if they keep scoring runs like this with Scoo on the mound, we're done. I mean, they're pacing for 10 runs at this point. So we got to be able to be better defensively as well. 5-1 is a hell of a lot better than 5-0, okay? You know, it's like, you know, got to put a Band-Aid on it. We were bleeding out, you know, for 4 innings. So at least now we got a Band-Aid over it. We're still bleeding out, you know, but again, 5-1, it looks a hell of a lot better than 5-0. And, you know, if we can get a little bit more, that would be awesome. But probably this will be it. Demo, they jammed him. Nice pitch by Scooball to jam Demo. We get 1, and the damage is done, but only 1, 5-1 Detroit. All right, we need another Mariner Moose for obviously the 5th inning, the 6th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning, the 9th inning. I highly doubt it's going to go extras unless we have a miracle. But you never know. It's baseball, right? Anything can happen in sports. Mariner Moose works from home. Apparently our bats, we left them at home as well. But at least we got 1. Up, Hanny. Let's see who's up here next for the Tigers. We're at 15, 85 to go. A few more likes away from 30, 4 or 5. Let's get there, baby. Next up for the Tigers, 0 for 1, shortstop Javier Baez. Batting second, 1 for 2 with the run, right fielder Matt Vierling. And batting third, welcome back, 1 for 2 with the run, RBI and a K. His first game back, ends up hitting a solo dinger, DHing today like Julio until he's fully ready, Kerry Carpenter. But then they ended up losing Wencel Perez. So as soon as one guy comes back, another one in the starting lineup got hurt. And that's kind of a thing that happens traditionally in baseball. But hopefully, you know, your guys will come back healthy. And you guys are playing great. You guys are very good against us. Scoo's only given up 13. Yeah, 13 is nothing, dude. There's pitchers that have given up a lot more than that. And you got to think, you know, he's typically going 6-7 innings. So 13 is nothing. Come on, George. Baez. Line drive. There we go. Nice job, Demo. We'll take that. Next up, right fielder, Matt Bierling. All right, we got to make sure we're giving George some love and some support too. Might be only out there for a couple more innings. Come on, George. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt Bierling. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Tigers. Come on, Mariners. Keep battling. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rivas. Turner can't get it. Wild throw to first. Defense has been absolutely terrible today. But again, when you don't have your strongest lineup out there, you know, and I know we don't got Polo out there, and I know some of the lineup is based off scooping a left-handed pitcher, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but man, I wish Polo was playing today. You know, his defense has been a little bit better as of late. He can hit the ball. I mean, if we would have said that a month and a half ago, people would have been laughing. But, you know, when you look at the lineup, gosh, man. Scott Service has a knack for not giving us the strongest lineup day in and day out. And I get it. Sometimes it's, strategic based off left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, right-handed batter. But again, remember, we got a lot of guys that are switch hitters too. Polo can switch, Cal can switch, so it's not like they're only able to hit from one side. They can hit from both. And unfortunately, we don't got Cal or Polo today. Bottom of the 4th, 5-1 Detroit. Runner at first with 1 out. Kirby, 61 pitches in. Kerry Carpenter in the box. 0-1 pitch. Throw to first. And he is safe. Behind in the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Go, baby. 5 more likes to get to 30. Let's get there. There we go. 4 more likes to get to 30. Thank you so much. We're almost to the goal. 4 more likes to get to 30. Let's get there. We want to hit 30 to 50 overall. 0-2 pitch from Kirby to Carpenter. Pitch is low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Twisters was good. Have you seen the Wolverine and Deadpool movie yet? Runner goes. Garver's throw, terrible. Safe at second, and that's why you need Cal Raleigh to play defense. Again, we know Garver is the backup catcher, but I feel really bad with Kirby having to, work with him instead of Cal, and Garver throwing someone out probably will never happen. So defensively, a big downgrade. Just an overall mistake by the Mariners, signing Mitch Garver. Should have just let him stay on the Texas Rangers. Uh-oh, back. Gone! Kerry Carpenter with 2 home runs in his first game back? You fucking kidding me? And it shows you, he is one of the best hitters on the team overall. And 2 home runs in the same game against George Kirby after being out for months and months, huh? My God. Like that? 7-1 Detroit. Well, I know Tiger fans have missed that. Unbelievable. Next up, second baseman Colt Keith. Of course, you got George Kirby on the mound, and if you're going to be giving up 7 runs, let alone Skoo on the mound, I mean, this is a big pizza on a stick there for Kerry Carpenter. What a game for him. Pitch is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. But that's exactly what the Tigers were hoping for. Skoo to dominate, and then the batters could, get 5 runs or more. That happens. It's a win. And they're not slowing down one bit. Kirby looking like shit today. But it's not just Kirby. It's Kirby, not having a strong lineup. Rojas making 3 errors at third base. Like literally everything that could go wrong in a game today has. Besides Haniger being able to knock in Justin Turner. So at least we had one positive thing, but everything else has been bad. And hopefully tomorrow and Thursday won't be like this. And I don't think it will be. I think we'll have a good chance still to win, 1 game out of 3, but it really will depend on what happens tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, we'll have a chance on Thursday. If we don't win tomorrow, then we're going to have to play like that desperate team and try to not get swept. Remember, we were 1 strike away in Seattle at T-Mobile from being swept by the Tigers about a week ago. So, yeah, take George out already. But again, I know you have no confidence in the bullpen, so it's like you're trying to make a guy go as long as he can. And if we had better bullpen guys, then maybe we could pull him, in the 3rd or the 4th. And it's probably a pride thing too. But the longer you go and the more you get beat up, the more depressed you get and the more you get down on things, right? So Rojas with another shitty throw. Golly, this might be the last day that we see Rojas at third base. And again, at one point, he was batting 300 to 350 in April and May. He was actually ranked at one point one of the top 10 third basemen in the league. But I don't know what's going on today. I don't know if he didn't eat his Wheaties. I don't know if he's got some personal shit in his life that's going on right now. But this is the absolute worst game I've seen Hollywood Josh Rojas play. And if he's going to play like that, he doesn't deserve to play. He deserves to be on the bench, not even to be a DH. And I'm 100% serious. And I like the guy. I don't have any problems with Rojas. I like him. But golly, I mean, every throw to first has been terrible. He's been bobbling the baseball. He's been a liability. I mean, we complained about Polo at second base being bad. Rojas today has played just as bad as Polo when he was in that bad run. Terrible. Not helping George it out at all. Pitches outside, 2 balls and no strikes. But I guess when it rains, it pours, right? So not everything is going to go your way. Pitching hasn't been good. Defense hasn't been good. Lineup isn't good. But again, that is a recipe for Julio to be good, because normally when we have everything bad, then at least 1 or 2 players will play good. Maybe that they normally don't. But it doesn't really help us out in the thick of things. But at least it prevents us from getting a donut and getting a 0. But man, I watched the Dodger game last night. I was thinking about doing the live stream, but I just wanted to watch it with Paisley. Mookie, first bat, 2-run blast. Ohtani with a 2-run blast. They ended up winning 5-2 against the Brew Crew. It was a good game for the Dodgers there on the road. Monday Night Raw was awesome. It's been must-see TV. And, anytime we get to a point, we'll probably wait to do Monday Night Raw on the live stream until it goes on Netflix. But I do have a link to be able to watch it at the exact same time as the people in the Midwest and the East Coast. So for whatever reason, if the Mariners and Dodgers have a day off or Monday Night Football isn't good, it's like a bad matchup, or, and I'm doing like reaction videos instead in the morning or afternoon, I wouldn't mind doing a Monday Night Raw, like watch along, like watch party. And I think that we would, be able to grow a certain amount of fans that come through once a month to watch the WWE PLEs once a month with me. But I think that might be something that we're going to transition to. Obviously, NFL will be, number one. But when it's not NFL season and once we get that Netflix crossover with WWE, I plan on trying to do Raw as often as I can, especially in this Triple H, era. It has been so fucking good. Like, COVID was really the only time that WWE dropped the ball and AEW was better. But the camera angles are better. The interviews and the backstage are better. The overall, broadcast is better with the graphics. Everything is top notch now. And AEW is always going to be, it looks like the B show from, moving on. But I'm still going to watch a little bit of AEW. But if AEW doesn't have their big stars wrestling, it's kind of hard to watch when WWE is, putting on a great show, not only on Raw, but with SmackDown as well as the monthly pay-per-view. Bases loaded, bottom of the fourth, 7-1, Tigers. And you got my guy, Parker Meadows, here in the box. Wouldn't surprise me if Parker goes for a grand salami to make it 11-1, but hopefully we'll be able to strike him out. Parker Meadows looking like a giant out there. 6'5", man. 1-2 pitch. Kirby Meadows right down the middle. 2 away. Thank God. Down goes Parker. Nice job, George. And a rough day, man. And I think a big part of it is when you got Garver, as your catcher and not Cal, how is that not going to affect you? Like to act like Kirby is thrilled to have Garver as the catcher, like offensively, defensively. He's not going to call a game. He's not as smart as Cal. He's not going to know how to call a game like Cal does. He can't throw anybody out defensively, and he's a shitty hitter on top of that. So I feel bad for any pitcher that has to match up with Garv. It feels kind of unfair, Now, would we still lose this game if Cal was catching? Probably. But at least we would feel a little bit better because we might be able to get to 3 or 4 runs rather than just 0 or 1. But Megan in the building. What's good? Hope you feel better. Bottom of the fourth, 7-1 Tigers. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 1-1 pitch from Kirby to Rogers. Pitch is high, but supposedly in the zone. Bad call by that ump. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. We're at 15, 85 to go. A few more likes away from 30. Where are we at? We need 1 more like to get to 30. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. There we go. We hit 30. Next goal will be 40. 10 more to hit 40, and then we want to see if we can get to 50 if the game is over. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the fourth, 7-1 Tigers. Skubal versus George Kirby. Part 2. And obviously when they matched up first time about a week ago, Tigers won 6-2. And it looks like they're trying to kind of recreate that ass whooping that they had against us last week again, but this time here in Comerica, not at T-Mobile. 2-2 pitch from Kirby to Rogers. That one fouled back behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a tough one, Steven. Shitty lineup. Shitty pitching, shitty defense. What can you do? And you're going against the best pitcher in baseball. There it is. Rogers. Back. Come on. Get the mustard and rye bread. That guy's got the stash from the past. 11-1 Tigers. Unbelievable. Things are going bad when George Kirby is giving up multiple home runs by 2 different guys. Like, should have already been pulled. Kerry Carpenter, first game at DH, 2 home runs, right? Jake Rogers, he doesn't even play every day. In the 7 hole, he's got the stash, but there's no way in hell, okay, Rogers should be doing things like this. My God. Rogers doubled the right. He didn't homer before, but it felt like it. So 2 homers to Carpenter, one homer to Rogers, even though it already felt like two because he ended up having that double, and then he ended up bringing in Madras and Urshela. Golly. George Kirby, boo! Terrible. And that's what happens when you have a bad manager and they leave people out there. Again, now we could have brought in Sauce, and he could have given up that, right? Or, Thornton, or any of the others like Austin Voth, but way to fuck with the mentals, and again, not a good outing overall, not just by George Kirby, but the defense and having Garv behind the plate. It's like, I wish Cal was like a fucking robot where he could just, catch every game and just either catch or DH, but just like be involved, because having Garv, not good at all. Hopefully we'll play better tomorrow as well as Thursday. But again, you can't win them all. And, remember, we are going against the number one pitcher in baseball. But the Tigers are playing like the number one hitting team on top of that. What a double whammy. What a gut punch, huh? We already got to worry about a guy that's about to go 14-4 with 2.57 ERA. He's only had 2 bad games out of 17. Best pitcher in baseball. Even the Mariner Moose couldn't save us today. You got to give credit where credit's due. I see you, Tiger fans. Now, hopefully, for the Mariners' sake, we can get to 4 before the game ends. And I know to most people that doesn't mean anything, but I want us to get a little bit of momentum going into game 2 and 3. We don't want to lose 18-1, because if that happens, we'll probably get swept. So, here comes Thornton. And then tomorrow I'm going to be live at 3:40 Pacific. And then on Thursday, I'll be live at 10 in the morning. So. We knew this was going to happen. I don't think we knew 11, but if you're a realistic person and you paid attention to Scooball and what he's done this season, the chances of you beating him are pretty much slim to none. And then on top of that, if you're going to get good production, out of their hitters, but really what the motivation was, Kerry Carpenter has been out for weeks, months, right? And this was his first game back. And so anytime you get a player that comes back from a long injury, back, all the way to the wall, and we finally get out of the inning. But just like when we got Julio back, we get that juice and that energy, that we did against the Mets. Even if Julio goes 0 for 5 and Carpenter ends up, hitting home runs, you still feel that energy. And just like when we get JP back for the very first game, chances are we're going to win that game. Just having JP out there at shortstop and, just knowing that, he's going to be able to contribute offensively and defensively, hopefully in a positive manner. But, man, ugly game. End of the 4th, 11-1 Tigers. Come on, Mariners. Got to dig deep now. But I just feel like anytime I see Garver catching, the pitcher that's throwing to him plays uninspired, and that's a problem. And obviously Kirby's gotten fucked up twice with Garv going against Scooball, and obviously we knew this was going to be a tough matchup, but I feel if Kirby only has Garver like every single time and then everyone else gets Cal Raleigh, how is that fair? At some point, they got to be able to give Garver to someone else like Bryce Miller or Luis Castillo. Kirby is, our top pitcher besides Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu. Why are we punishing him, by giving him the worst option at catcher? It should be the guys that end up getting, Garver should be the 4 or the 5. Castillo at 4 and Bryce Miller at 5. Kirby as being like the second best pitcher shouldn't have Garv as the catcher. What an insult. But I guess that's what the rotation is, but I don't like it. It's like you're doing your, star player a disservice. And then now you're starting to see Kirby lose his confidence, because he doesn't even have an option to pitch with one of the best catchers in baseball. Let him know. Appreciate you. $20 holla. Apologize that the migraine got you today, but hopefully it gets a little bit better. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. I will be live tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific, so it'll be around the same time as today, and then we'll have the early start on Thursday. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I gotcha. We're at 35, 65 to go. Two-one pitch. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. I do know. And I finished Umbrella Academy. Sad to see that show end, but I started it over from season 1, episode 1, and went through all of season 4, even though there was only like 6 episodes there. And very good show. Who are looking for something new to watch, if you've already gone through a lot of the new stuff in June and July, highly recommend. All right, we got Garver at first with the walk. Unexpected, but we'll take it. Next up, Leo Rivas. This would be a good time to throw down a bunt. I know Garver is slow as shit, but you never know. If the bunt is laid down properly, Garver will be able to get to second, and then the throw might be a little late to get Rivas if we're trying to actually try to, somewhat scratch and claw our way back into this. Obviously, we're going to lose, but if we can get to 4 or 5 runs, I would say that's a win for us, because then that'll carry over, to obviously tomorrow and Thursday. But again, when you're going against Scoo and you have a shitty lineup that's like a C or D lineup, no Polo, no Cal, no Luke Rayleigh, and you're looking at the lineup and you got Haniger, Moore, Garver, Rivas, Rojas. This is one of the shittiest lineups that they've had in a long fucking time. What did you expect? That we were going to get 11 runs with this lineup? And you got Scoo on the mound? Give yourself a chance. Don't just give up. Man, unbelievable. Positive vibes, baby. Rivas chops that one foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should have bunted. Should have bunted. Should have bunted. Two pitch. Nice job by Scoo. Another punch out. 6K for Tarrant. 2 ball. He's an amazing pitcher, man. I'm very jealous. Wish we had a lefty like this. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we almost got swept. We were 1 strike away from getting swept, and we needed a miracle. But we'll see what happens, obviously, on Wednesday and Thursday. But it kind of feels like, we have to win tomorrow. Because if we play on Thursday at 10 a.m., we're traditionally not good in the morning. So if we play like this tomorrow, we're going to get swept, more than likely, even though we're going to be the desperate team, on Thursday morning. But unless everything goes right, I don't know the lineups and, what's going to be going down. But I guess we have to be happy that Scoo is not a robot and he can't pitch 3 games in a row. Otherwise, it would be 3 games just like this. But hopefully the bats will be better. The lineup will be better. And again, we need Cal Raleigh. We need Polo. We need Luke Raley. You can't leave those guys out of the lineup. But based on what we've seen out of Hollywood Josh Rojas, I think we've kind of come to terms that maybe he doesn't deserve to play anymore at third base. Maybe we need to platoon and just throw Demo there, even though that's not that much of a better person to be there since we don't have Eugenio Suarez anymore. But we can't have someone being a liability on defense and can't hit on top of that. At least you have to be good at one thing. For Polo, you suck at defense, but you start to hit. So the boos stopped. And then you made the double play of the year, defensive play of the year a couple days ago with Rivas. So you got the boos for about a month and a half, but nobody's booing Polo anymore. But Hollywood Josh Rojas is on the brink of getting booed. Like, it's getting to that point. I feel bad for him, but I don't know what's going on with him in his personal life, or they're in the clubhouse or in the dugout, but he has not been good. He struggled probably the most besides Polo, because even Luke Raley has been able to get out of the funk with some home runs and hits and RBIs, and he's not that much of a head of those other guys, but he is. But Rojas, man, we need to figure out something new at third base. Big swing and a miss. There goes Robles. And again, when Robles plays well and he gets on base early, we win. When Robles strikes out or doesn't do well and he goes 0 for 2, 0 for 3, guess what? We lose, and we lose big. He really is the starter for the Mariners. Just like when JP is on. When JP is on and he gets a hit right out of the gates, what happens? We typically feed off that momentum, that Uncle Mo, and we win. Same thing goes with Victor in the leadoff spot. When he gets a hit right out of the gates in the first inning, sometimes we score 1 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings, sometimes in that first inning. But when you don't get that production out of the top of the order, it carries over to the rest of the guys. Now, Randy's trying to do his best job and his best impression of Robles and trying to get a base knock here, but this is definitely very difficult against Skubal. Come on, Randy. But this was a terrible lineup out of, all lineups. You got Victor, Randy, Justin Turner, Julio. Good. Then you got Haniger, Demo, Mitch Garver, Leo Rivas, Josh Rojas. So it's like you almost got 4 starters and then 5 backups, even though some of them are starting, and that's not a good formula to beat the best pitcher in baseball. And I get it. He's a lefty. So maybe you want to have more righties in the lineup, but you have a better chance of throwing in lefties on lefty if they're a better player than just going for the guy that's a righty thinking that, percentages are going to work out. Bullshit. You get a righty going against Skubal that can't hit. At the end of the day, he can't hit. And he's going to strike out, pop up, or ground out, right? But I guess that's the mentality for Scott Service. We have to do it by the book. If it's a lefty, we get all righties in there, even if we know the lefties are a better player. But no Cal, no Luke Raley, no Polo, and it's hurting us defensively and offensively. 0-2 pitch. Got him. Nasty. Wow. They leave 2 stranded. Skubal screams at the Tigers with elation and joy. Yeah, he says. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th. 11-1 Tigers? Golly. Some photos up here for Megan. Reflect if you anything that you want to be able to see at any given point. For you don't know, let me know. I got you. Oh, man. Bottom of the 5th, 11-1. Brutal. But that's a part of baseball. You're not going to win them all. And I anticipated us losing today, but not like this. Not this particular way. Dean's on Friday on Paisley's birthday. And that one might get really ugly for us on that particular game as well. Primo in the building, what's good? Well, Tigers are getting hot, at the right time. When you don't have good pitching, you don't have good defense, you don't have a good lineup, and you get a team that's hungry. They got one of their stars back, that's been injured for months. He ended up homering twice, right? You don't pull Kirby at the right time. Rojas has made like 3 errors. I mean, what can you do? Sometimes, a team is going to have your number. And the Tigers have played very well against Seattle, not only in the 3 games at T-Mobile, but these 3 games here at Comerica Park. We'll see what happens. But if we don't step it up with better lineups and better pitching and defense, we are going to get swept by this team. And again, if we want to be able to beat the Astros and the Rangers for the AL West, losing games like this is fucking unacceptable. But again, it's one thing to lose to Skubal and we lose like 4-2 or 6-2, but not fucking 11-1, It's a little ridiculous. 13 hits, 11 runs. We have 1 run, 3 hits. Tough, man. Baez popped up foul. Maybe the only weak link on the Tigers here, Javier Baez. Decent player back in the day, for the Cubs, and then hasn't been a really good player since then. His numbers have gone down almost every season since then, so strikes out a lot. I know he's top 5 in strikeouts after the Cubs, so in the last 3, 4, 5 years. But with that being said, going against the Mariners, what's going to happen? He probably will hit a home run or get a big hit against us at some point. So 2-2 pitch. Pitch is high, out of the zone, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I guess so. A little payback from the NFL side. Baez, toss that one up. Fading foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three, 2. Oh, timeout. That was way late. Thornton on the mound. 3-2 pitch to Baez. Uh-oh. Baez. Wow, and he almost homered. That's when things are going really bad, is when you get a guy that has got like top 5 strikeouts out of any player in baseball currently, and it's probably their worst hitter. Overall, obviously in the 9-hole. Kid with the Griffey shirt got the ball there. I don't know if Skubal is going to go over the fantasy points because I don't know what his fantasy points were at going into the game. I don't play fantasy baseball. Baez grounded out to the shortstop. 1 away. I mean, Skubal's 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. So, I mean, if he goes 1 more inning, probably a good chance of him getting close to 10 Ks or over 10 Ks, especially if he goes 7 innings. But I would assume he'll have at least 1 more strikeout at the very least, but maybe 2 more to get him to double digits. And then if he goes to 7 innings, then he'll end up getting probably 11 to 12 strikeouts. But we'll have to wait and see. Robles is there. I don't know how the point structure works in fantasy baseball compared to fantasy football. like how much each strikeout is worth and all the different stats with the pitcher, so I couldn't help you, my guy. We're at 35, 65 to go. And it's not going to get any easier. We got 2 more games against the Tigers, and then we play on Apple Plus TV on Friday, national broadcast against the Pittsburgh Pirates and Paul Skeens. So on Paisley's birthday. So that one might get kind of nasty like this one, but hopefully the bats will be better than what we're seeing here today, and we can match up with Skeens a little bit better than Scooball. If we could only play the Mets every single game the rest of the way. And I imagine the Tigers are thinking, man, if we could just play the Mariners every day the rest of the season, we'd be in the playoffs. 0-2 pitch from Thornton. Check swing to Kerry Carpenter. We can't have Carpenter hit 3 home runs in the same game. He's hot. And there's another hit for Kerry Carpenter. Why can't Julio play like that? Julio gone for a while, comes in the game, goes 0 for 5. Carpenter has his first game, hits 2 home runs, and gets a single. Unbelievable. Next up, second baseman Colt Keith. So is every Tiger fan just giving up on Torkelson? Like he's done? Like he'll never be able to make the big leagues and he's just going to be a AAA player for the rest of his life? Or you guys are going to trade and get rid of him? Or is there a chance that he can actually make the roster again and help the team win? Like, what's the main reasoning that he's in AAA? Because his hitting mechanics went down the shitter? What about his defense? Is his defense shitty also? Is that why he's not up? Because obviously I saw his numbers, and he obviously had much lower numbers than he had in previous years. I believe he only had, 4 home runs total before they sent him back down. Batting 190, 200, something like that. So, Chopper up the middle. Force out at second. End of the 5th inning, 11-1 Tigers. Yeah, I saw that with the injury to Gibbs. Hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully it's just something minor. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the 6th. 0 for 1 with the run, first baseman Justin Turner. Batting second, 1 for 2, DHing for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 1 for 2 with an RBI and a K, right fielder Mitch Haniger. Let me know when you're in the room, Megan, there, and I can throw up some more photos for you. If you're in the room now, let me know. Let's look at some numbers here real quick. All right, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. He's only 68 pitches in. Incredible. 2.55 ERA. He is special. Tarek Skubal. Now let's take a look at George's numbers, which aren't good. Oh, hi, my name is George Kirby. 3.2 innings pitched, 13 hits, 11 runs. 1 walk, 5 Ks. Unbelievable. Terrible game. Before the game started, where we're at right now, Tigers fans. Man, golly, 11-1. Stop the bleeding, please. All right, come on, Justin. Something's got to happen. You know, we got to at least get to 2 to 4 runs before this game is over. At least keep trying. How is Torkelson doing in the farm system in AAA? Have his numbers gotten any better? Is he playing worse? Like, what's going on with him in the AAA farm system since they sent him down? He's probably fucking depressed. Big swing and a miss. You got to be mentally tough to make it in baseball. There goes JT. 1 away. Next up, 1 for 2, DHing for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Oh, no worries. I just want to make sure that you're on the computer, so if I throw up photos for you that you're in the room, unless you're doing some other errands in the house and whatnot. So, did you see the first initial photos that I put up for you, or no? 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss to Julio Rodriguez from Trek Skubal. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Okay. All right, no worries. Let me know when you're back and settled in, and then that way I can just, throw up like 10 or 12. Because I already, posted them, and then I had to make room, and I had to delete them, and then I'll pull them up again. No worries. Top of the 6th, 11-1 Detroit. Skubal pitching like he's the best pitcher in baseball. 2-2 pitch. Julio drops that one behind the plate. Foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 248 with 10 homers in AAA and 80 Ks. Golly. And what was his batting average before they sent him down? He had like 4 home runs, batting like 190 to 200. Something like that. Pitches outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio. Chopper, foul. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, we need a miracle. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. See where we're at right now. We got 65 to go on the dono train. And let's see where we're at as far as the likes. We're at 30, 31. Julio chops that one foul. We're at 35, 31. 4 more likes to get to 35. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. 9 more to get to 30 or 40, excuse me. Come on, Julio. 201 with 4 homers. So, I remember looking at his stat line because I remember they were comparing Julio and Torkelson based on like having good years last year and then having a bad year this year. Except the difference is Julio obviously will never get sent down to AAA, and Torkelson they did. So Julio up the middle. Wow, what a defensive gem by the Tigers. Wish we could do that. Down goes Julio on a ground out to second base. Now, if Julio was 100% healthy, he might have been able to run that out, but obviously doesn't want to injure himself. But he can't even run full speed right there. As you can see, he's running like, 70%, if that. So that's why he's DHing and not playing in center field. Can't run full speed yet. Next up, right fielder, Mitch Haniger. Well, luckily we don't have to have this particular pitching matchup all the time, even though we've had it, 2 times in the last week. So it's like we haven't forgotten of the ass whooping that we already got from Detroit at T-Mobile, and now they're continuing to do it in Comerica Park. But hopefully we can win 1 out of 3. Best case scenario, 2 out of 3. But that's really going to be up to tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, we'll have a chance on Thursday. If we get our ass kicked like this again, we probably are going to get swept unless they can bring an A effort at 10 in the morning, on that last game in the rubber match. But, hopefully we'll have a better lineup overall. We'll have Cal in both games, and we'll probably have Polo in both games, and maybe even Luke Raley in both games, and maybe that'll be the difference. 2-2 pitch. Haniger. Little dribbler towards third. Throw to first. Got him. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 11-1 Tigers. Next up for the Tigers, 3 for 3. Golly. With 2 runs, third baseman, Gio Urshela. You already know you're getting your ass kicked if Gio's going 3 for 3. Golly. Batting second, 2 for 2. 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball. First baseman, Bly Madris. And batting third with an unexpected 0 for 3. Probably will get a hit here. With 2 Ks, Parker Meadows. It's like the one day that Parker Meadows doesn't do anything everyone else does, so no surprise. It's kind of like with Julio. Everyone on the team does nothing, and then Julio actually has a decent game, and that happens pretty often. Oh, man, stop the bleeding. But the Tiger fans will enjoy this one for sure. There will be no dancing tonight. But hopefully we can play, with some effort and some intensity in these last couple innings, and hopefully it'll carry over until tomorrow. I don't want to get swept by the Tigers. Man, one of the worst outings for George Kirby ever. But you got to give the Tigers credit. And it wasn't just one player. It was multiple players. You know it, baby. All right, here we go. Thornton on the mound. We're in the bottom of the 6th, down 11-1. And again, if we can get to 4 or 5 runs, that would be the peak. Realistically, maybe 1 or 2 more to get at least a 3. But again, the closer we can get to 4 or 5, that'll carry over into tomorrow. Uh-oh. Back. Gone! Gio Urshela with a 4 for 4 game. Unbelievable. Our pitching staff stinks. Golly. Come on, Trent. The last thing that we need is to have someone give up home runs where we already had that with George Kirby. Golly. Gio Urshela in probably his first 4 for 4 game ever in his career. 12-1 Tigers. Right down the middle, too. What are you thinking? Next up, first baseman Bly Madris with the pizza on a stick. What does the pizza on a stick signify in Detroit? Like, what's the purpose of the pizza on the stick? We have the trident, and we throw the trident up after home runs. What is the story behind the pizza on a stick with the 3 pieces of pizza on the stick itself? What's the meaning behind that? Yeah. I mean, even before it got to 7, probably should have been pulled. know, but there you go. But what does pizza have to do with Detroit, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, Detroit's not known for pizza, right? Like, if it was like, you know, New York, you know, or Chicago, you know, and they're known for like, you know, certain things like deep dish pizza, you know, that would make a little bit more sense if it was like the Cubs thing, you know, but for Detroit, it's like, well, you know, I mean, I don't expect them to be like, you know, having some like Model T Ford, you know, car in the, you know, in the dugout area, you know, like some kind of like Hot Wheel type thing or something, but Little Caesars Pizza is owned by the Tigers. Okay, there it is. So then it's a Little Caesars little show of allegiance to them, huh? Throw to first is out. We were lucky to get that throw into first base to Justin Turner there. Defense has been very, very bad. So it's all because of Little Caesars then. Not the greatest tasting pizza, you know, one of the cheapest, but again, when you're broke and you need pizza, there you go. There's an option. All right. So Pistons and the Tigers owned by the same owners. Okay. Pitches outside. 1 ball and no strikes. This is one of the biggest ass whoopings that we've had all year. 12-1, and now you got Parker Meadows in there 0 for 3. I mean, like really the only guy left to be able to do something would be Parker. Seems like everyone else is doing their job. And Parker normally is the one. The Tigers lineup is ridiculous. 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 2 for 4, 4 for 4, 2 for 3, 2 for 3. And they got 3 guys that are 0 for 3, but no longer. There he is, Parker Meadows. Like I told you, he was going to get a hit at that 4th at-bat, and there he did. Stand-up double, Parker Meadows. The bleeding doesn't stop. The only 2 players for the Tigers that don't have a hit yet are Zach McKinstry and Javier Baez. Next up, catcher Jake Rogers. But I guess, you know, when they're at 12 runs and 1 billion hits, you would think everyone on the team would have a hit by now. For real, though. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, help your boy out. Your boy's going to need some therapy after this fucking game. We're at 31. We need 4 more likes to get to 35. You haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we're at 32. 3 more to get to 35. 8 more to get to 40. I think that would be a good goal to shoot for. 40 by the time the game is over, even though we're getting absolutely demolished. You can have Tiger fans come in and smash the like button, or you can have a pity party for the Mariner fans and throw up a like for us here. Wow, another hit. Unbelievable. Wow, he's going for a triple. Out. Wow. I mean, I guess when everything is going your way, I guess you can do whatever the hell you want, so. Jake Rogers thinking that he's Ichiro trying to go for a triple, but, I mean, really, they had nothing to lose. 13-1 Tigers. This is embarrassing. Next up, left fielder Zach McKinstry. All they need is McKinstry and Baez to get a hit, and everyone on the team will have at least 1. And many players have 2 or more. So that'll be the first time and maybe the last time Jake Rogers goes for 3. And, you know, normally in this particular matchup, Rojas would have dropped that because he's already made like 3 errors today, and that would have been the 4th, but he hangs on to the catch and tags out Rogers at 3rd, 2 away. All right, no worries. And how long have you guys done the Little Caesars pizza on a stick celebration? Is this like the 2nd year in a row that you guys have done it? And what was the celebration prior to that? Besides pizza on a stick, you know, based off the fake pizza on that spear stick that you guys use where you got the 3 fake pizzas on there. What was the celebration prior to the pizza? 0-2 pitch? Seriously. And Red Wings are owned by a different owner. Red Wings and Lions owned by the same owner, or no? Or is it separate owners for the Red Wings, Lions, and then you just got Tigers and Pistons owned by the same guy? Which guys? Bottom of the sixth, 13-1 Tigers. Pitch is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It kind of makes you think, even if we would have put in Thornton early on, that chances are he would have got roughed up for some home runs as well. Oh, brutal. Unbelievable. Same spot in the gap. What the hell are we doing out there for defense? Jesus Christ. McKinstry with a hit. Now we're down to only one player left that doesn't have a hit. The worst player in the lineup, Javier Baez. He's a strikeout machine, but, I mean, knowing our luck now, he'll probably home run, right? Get a big RBI. And what was the Detroit Red Wing themed hockey celebration from last year? What did they do? Did they have a hockey stick in there and they would just like slap it around and hit people with it? Is that what was going on? Man, good managing by Scott Service. Him thinking that having Haniger, Demo, Garver, Rivas, Rojas was a good idea. Idiot. But, I mean, I guess if, you know, they give everything that they have against us this game, and maybe that's what he's thinking, and then maybe they'll be tired and we'll have a better chance to win tomorrow and Thursday. But, you know, if the pitching and the hitting continues, we're not going to win any game, let alone one. I was going to say, I figured the Ford family, you know, that's the same original owners. And then, okay. So separate. 35, 65 to go. I'm going to need some therapy after this game. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. 4 more likes to 35, baby. Let's go. I'll get some photos up here for Megan if she is back. Troy Taylor coming in. Taylor's got some good velocity on his pitches, 97 to 100. That one chop foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. So they had gloves, helmet, and then a hockey stick. So they had the whole package when they ended up hitting the home run, that they would have to dress up in the hat, put the gloves on, and then have the actual hockey stick. That's cool. So, you know, there was some thought involved in the celebration, and then it went to the pizza on a stick. Okay, I gotcha. Baez, back. Gone. You got to be kidding me. Literally one of the worst hitters in baseball. Now everyone for the Tigers has a hit, and let alone Baez hits a home run. That's when you know everything is going terrible for the Seattle Mariners and everything is going fantastic for the Tigers. This has been the best game for the Tigers all year. 15 runs, 15 to 1, and now everyone has at least a hit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Top 5 in strikeouts in the last 5 years overall, and ends up hitting a home run against us. Unbelievable. Jesus. Randy Arozarena tried right there, but... So, what we got? 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 2 for 4, 4 for 4 from Urshela, 2 for 3, 1 for 4, 3 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 4. And with Scooball with 9 Ks on top of that, too. God, get the bleeding to stop. I mean, are they going to score 20? Golly. Everyone's getting hit. It's like the Mariners just gave up. It's like everyone is, depressed. Jesus. Yeah, no kidding. And luckily, this doesn't happen to us that often. This will happen to us maybe 1 to 3 times a season. But when you're going against the best pitcher, and then it seems like the Tigers are trying to act like they're one of the best hitting teams with the best pitcher on the mound, this is the results that you get. You get a team that is uninspired, that has a shitty lineup by Scott Service. Kirby got fucked up. No passion whatsoever, and everything just, when it rains, it pours. Everything is going all Detroit. And again, we were 1 strike away from getting swept by this team a week ago, and they own us. That's as simple as that. Bottom of the 6th, 15-1 Detroit. $65 to go to hit the goal for my therapy after this game, and then we're a few more likes away from getting to 40. 1-1 pitch. The Tigers are doing so well that they're going to have pinch hitters come into the game now. They don't even need to play their starters anymore. They're like, Matt Vierling? Nah, we'll just go with Malloy. Gary Carpenter, 3 for 4, 2 home runs in his first game back. That's how you make a difference. They were already excited with him coming back, and then obviously hitting 2 home runs, possibly a third before the game is over. Pitches outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. But that's a hell of a comeback after being injured for a couple months. It's like, let me come back in my first game and hit 2 home runs. But Mookie came back, from being injured with the broken finger and hit a home run in his first at-bat yesterday. So I guess it is a common theme. Big swing and a miss. End of the 6th inning. Stop the bleeding, please. 15-1 Detroit. Golly. Embarrassing. But what did Scott Service think? That we were going to be able to compete with this kind of lineup? It's like you're going to lose all the confidence in George Kirby because every time he pitches, he has to have Garver, not Gal. How is that fair? It's not. It's like, how are you going to make one of the top 2 pitchers have Garver? If anyone should be pitching to Garver, it should be Luis Castillo or Bryce Miller. Not Wu, not Gilbert, not Kirby. But there you go. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, second baseman Dylan Moore. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball catcher, Mitch Garver. Batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, Leo Rivas. I'll throw up some photos up here for Megan. Hopefully she's in the room. Are you in the room, Megan? I hope so. At least someone's going to have some joy today. But I don't let games like this ruin my day. We got another opportunity tomorrow to get it done. And then another opportunity at 10 a.m. on Thursday to get it done. Mariner Moose, where are you? Help. Anything else that you want besides Anson? What's your next selection after that? You want Stefan? You want Pete? You want Hack? You want someone else? Woo, woo. All right. I'll sprinkle some in. All right. Well, Scooball is finally out. So now they got Wentz in, no relation to Carson. And I don't know how this is going to go. Wentz is a lefty as well. So we might end up losing this game somewhere between 15 to 20 runs. And we might only end up getting one more before the game is up. That's kind of how it feels. Yeah, we got to win tomorrow. And if we win tomorrow, we'll have a chance on Thursday. But if we don't win tomorrow, there's a high probability that we might get swept. But you never know. As long as the lineup isn't as bad as it is. But one thing is for sure, Rojas shouldn't be playing. You know, and I hate to say that, but he shouldn't be playing at third base anymore. We need to figure out another option there. Whether that's Demo, and that's our best option at third. But I'll be live tomorrow at 3:30. We got Wu on the mound. Tomorrow it's undecided for the Tigers. And then on Thursday, it'll be Bryce Miller against undecided. So we'll see how it goes. But if Bryce pitches like his last matchup against the Mets, we can win. But if he pitches like he normally does, it might get ugly at 10 a.m. So we'll see how it goes. Demo, little dribbler, throw to first. One away. I mean, I like the guy, but we gotta call a spade a spade. You know, when someone's doing good, we're gonna praise them. When they do bad, you might get booed, like Polo did. But no one's booing Polo anymore after the defensive play of the year, as well as his bat being able to get doubles, singles, and key RBIs and home runs when we need it. So. But I think Rojas now, after today, he's on the brink of getting booed. You know, and obviously we're not in Seattle right now, and he's not going to get booed in Detroit. You know, they love when a guy fucks up. But I don't think I've seen him fuck up so many times in one game. 4 times defensively. That's not good. And he can't hit anymore either. He hasn't been able to hit since April and May. So a change needs to be made. And again, you know, Julio is back. JP will be back soon. So, you know, you got to figure out if Dylan Moore is our best option at third after, you know, Hollywood Josh Rojas, and that's what we need to do. We need to put Demo as the everyday third baseman. And I know that might be a gut punch for Rojas, but I mean, you really have been more of a liability than an asset. And sometimes you need to get benched. And, you know, we benched Polo, brought in Bliss, you know, and then he got, you know, some time off. You know, and had to work his way back after the injury. And, you know, he's still not what we paid for. Neither is Garv, Polo and Garv, but at least, you know, Polo is not the weakest link anymore. Right now, you got to say it's Garv and Rojas are the weakest links on the team. 2-2 pitch. Did he go? Even Tom Murphy would have been a better backup catcher than Garver. Like, why not pay the guy that we already have there instead of trying to get the guy that just won the World Series, you know, and trying to bring over that World Series experience. But if anything, it's been a complete opposite. It's been a flop, you know. We are not the Texas Rangers. Yeah, we do. Good choice. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, a little cactus jack, bang, bang. Some Billy B and some Pete, huh? Top of the 7th, 15-1, Detroit. And nice to see Billy B, you know, on the sideline with Jed Fish, you know, there with the Huskies. And you're going to be able to see a little bit of Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, you know, sprinkled around in podcast and, you know, different pre-game and post-game shows. Like, you know, at any given point, once you retire, you know, from coaching, you're going to have some free time. But also, if you're smart and you have some insight, you know, you can get paid. And we'll see as the, you know, years go along, the role for Billy B as well as Nick Saban will change, you know, depending on where they want to make their money at. So. We're at 45, 55 to go. 2-1 pitch to Leo Rivas. Can I get a bunt, please? I mean, what do we got? What's the excuse for not bunting now, right? I mean, we're down 14 runs. We might as well bunt and see if we can move a guy over. I mean, I know it kind of sounds like child's play, but again, it's probably the number one thing in baseball that is a forgotten tool or asset to a team. There's a lot of games where you don't even see a bunt attempt at all. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wentz to Rivas. Hey, I still got the Griffey jersey on. It hasn't been ripped off. Anybody can wear the jersey when you win, but wearing the jersey when you can lose, that's really shows the character. Should have bunted Rivas. And reflect with another tenor. I appreciate that. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang bang. Appreciate you. Let's get some photos up. We'll throw up a couple Steffens for Megan, and then we'll go through all the coaches. 15-1. Hey, you know, it is what it is. It can't always be peaches and cream, right? You got to look at the best of every situation, no matter how bleak it is. Sauce is coming in. Uh-oh. I don't know if that's good or bad. Hopefully, all things don't go to hell. I mean, it's already 15-1, but we don't want it to get to 20-1. Couple Pete's there for you while we go through these innings, and we'll get some Belichick and we'll get some Hack and some other photos for the donos. I thank you so much for the support. Paisley's birthday is on Friday, and that's going to be against Skeens in Pittsburgh. So another top 3 pitcher matchup where we could get rocked again, and hopefully it won't be as bad as, you know, going against Scooball these last 2 outings. But again, you know, going in with the mindset that we might lose, but hopefully we can, you know, play well against Skeens. You know, he is a rookie. So Rojas is there, throw to first. And that might have been the first good play I seen out of Hollywood Josh Rojas in the 7th inning with the 4 fuck-ups that he had today. Dominic Canzone coming in for Randy Arozarena, trying to keep him healthy, obviously, as we go into tomorrow. Bye. I got no time for that. I mean, we're tied like right there at the top of the board. I mean, just because, you know, we're having a rough outing, right? And obviously the Red Sox, we'll see what happens with them. You know, I mean, it could be worse. We could be the Red Sox and, you know, we could be Jared Duran and throw out a slur and then get suspended for 2 games, right? So, I mean, not every game is going to be in our favor, but to act like we're the White Sox or the A's is ridiculous. 2 away. And not a good throw there by Rojas. There we go. Next up for the Tigers, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a base on ball. First baseman, Bly Madrist. People are so used to being, keyboard warriors and talking shit that they don't even realize it. That's what this younger generation with TikTok is doomed. They feel that they can say or do whatever they want at any given point, online and in person, and that they're not going to have any consequences for their actions or their words. But there will be here. Big facts. All right, see who's up here for the Mariners. We'll get some more photos up here. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, third baseman, Hollywood Josh Rojas. Good defensive inning for him, finally. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. You're never going to see that. Victor Robles. And batting third, which would have been Randy Arozarena, but they're bringing in Dominic Canzone. (15-1) in the top of the 8th. Hopefully we can get at least a 2, before the game is over. We don't want to just end it with a 15-1 shellacking, but big swing and a miss. Minding the count 0-2. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. Let's see where we're at. Hopefully we can get to at least 35. We're at 32. We need 3 more likes to get to 35, 8 more to get to 40. Now we're at 33. We need 2 more to get to 35. Obviously, if we weren't down by this much, there'd be a very good chance to get to 40 plus, but I get it. Some Mariner fans have turned the TV off, but again, I don't have that option. I got to be able to watch the game from beginning to end to be able to evaluate every single player, no matter how good or bad the team is doing. Next up is Victor Robles. And you can learn a lot about character out of guys when the games are like this. Who's giving up and who's still trying. And the guys that don't give up, those are the guys that you want on the team. Robles popped up, out to first, 2 away. And that's a very rare 0 for 4 game for Victor Robles. That won't happen tomorrow or Thursday. Next up, in left field, in the 2-hole, for Randy Arozarena, Dominic Canzone. Go, Dom. Welcome, Anna. And we got 2,600 regular viewers that usually watch the channel. And as far as where people are located that watch us, United States, India, Dominican Republic, Japan, Venezuela, Mexico, Canada, Nepal, Philippines, and Bangladesh. Those are the top locations that are watching the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Top of the 8th, 15-1, Detroit. 1-2 pitch from Wentz to Canzone. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Australia as well. The numbers are lower there because it might be only you that's watching me. But that's just what it showed in the metrics. Australia was up there a little bit higher, but I think that it all depends on how many people from Australia are watching besides you. We already know you're going to be the #1 supporter from Australia, no doubt. But I think the Australia viewership has gotten passed by some of these other countries. Australia is below 0.7%, so less than 1%. So Nepal is 0.9, Philippines is 0.7, Bangladesh is 0.7. So that means Australia's got to be probably 0.5 to 0.6. India, 3.6%. Dominican Republic, 3. Japan, 2.5. Venezuela, 2. And then obviously the United States is #1 at 66.4. $30-ounce gold nugget? No way. Wow. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th, 15-1 Tigers. See if we can get a few more photos up here. Kraken hockey will be fun. Lots of changes. Maybe a playoff berth this upcoming season. Possible. But it's also possible it might take a couple years before we make the playoffs with the new coaching regime and players. But it seems like the roster is better in this upcoming season than it was last year. And that's a good positive sign of things to come. Colt Emerson, he's the real deal. Leo Rivas on the mound? Uh-oh. You know things are going bad when they got Leo Rivas pitching in the bottom of the 8th. Like, we have nobody better than Leo Rivas, the shortstop on the mound. Golly. They really want Mariner fans to turn the game off. My God, what is this? All right, good game, man. I mean, hell, we got our shortstop pitching to you guys now, so you might end up getting to 17 to 20 runs by the time this game's over. Rivas is pitching like you would pitch if you were at like a batting batting cage, and you have someone like throwing to you if it's not a machine, like your dad or like a cousin or a friend throwing the ball to you. Popped up, one away. Well, at least it worked. 46 miles an hour. We're wheeling and dealing now. We're coming back. Leo Rivas, the number 5 in the rotation now. $44 miles an hour. Maybe that's the new technique. That instead of pitchers throwing as hard as they can, If you only throw it 44 miles an hour, you're not going to have the exit velo to be able to go for a home run. You might hit it hard, onto the ground, but you're not going to hit home runs out 44 miles an hour unless it's right down the middle on the sweet spot. So far, Rivas doing the best out of any pitcher so far today. Unbelievable. Next up is left fielder Zach McKinstry. Watch out for that 44-mile-an-hour heater. Oh, that one's crushed. Back to the wall. At least it wasn't a home run. And it goes into the crowd for a double. Rivas giving up his first hit. Pull him. Terrible. How could he? How could he give up a hit pitching 44 miles an hour? Golly. Good strike right there. Bottom of the 8th, runner at second with 2 outs. Excellent whip. Popped up. I mean, if you pitch soft, you're not going to give up the big home runs that often. End of the 8th inning, Rivas did a good job. That's hilarious that Rivas did the best out of any pitcher so far. He's like, maybe I should be a pitcher at 44 miles an hour. Maybe that's a new strategy that's been unlocked, When you got bullpen guys, don't even go to the bullpen. Don't go to Trent Thornton. Don't go to Austin Voth. Don't go to Taylor Saucedo. Just go to fucking Rivas. Have him pitch 44 miles an hour. And hell, he's got a better chance to get out of the inning than those guys. Unbelievable. 15-1 Tigers. End of the 8th. We got one last chance here for the Mariners. Huskies, baby. There's your Billy B. Billy B. All right, Mariners, last ditch effort here for our boy Justin Turner. Go, JT. Nine Ks for Scooball. Could have had probably 15 today. But luckily, we don't play this bad that often. I mean, again, you're only going to have this happen to us in a 162-game season, maybe 1 to 3 times. It just so happens that today was one of those days. Now, anytime you can be around a family member that has a job at that university, and he's not going to coach, but just his presence there, obviously will be helpful, to the Huskies players or anyone that has access to him, so that way if they want to ask him a question, that you can actually get an answer from a legend, a GOAT. Playable, popped up, 2 away. Last out, right fielder, 1 for 3, RBI and a K, Mitch Haniger. High corn. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I imagine George Kirby mentally, he doesn't want to sound like a shitty teammate, but if I was a starting pitcher and I was one of the top 2 out of a, 5 rotation and one of the best in baseball, and I had to have the backup catcher every time compared to everyone else, I wouldn't be happy about it. But again, it's a fine line. Popped up, and that is the game. Final score, Tigers 15, Mariners 1. But we'll do some photos here for a couple minutes, and then we'll call it a day. Let me see what other photos I can find here. That might be the only photo of Belichick and the Huskies that will really convert that looks halfway decent. Yeah, tomorrow will be better. Or even Belichick and Saban, having a podcast or doing a show together would be very interesting, based on their success that they've had. Anything that you guys want to be able to see here before I go, let me know. We just need good positive vibes. I'm going Brian Wu right now for the time being. That's who's on the mound for us tomorrow. So I gotta make sure we're placing the good vibes into the chat as we go into tomorrow. So everything was terrible for us today. Nothing good. Rojas played bad. Kirby played bad. Nobody hit for us really. When you play a game and you get 3 hits and the other team gets 21. Yeah, probably wasn't a very good game. And we're talking about Randy Arozarena, Julio, Haniger, and that's it. That's the 3 guys that got hits today. Not good. But I'll tell you a guy that will be good tomorrow. His name is Brian. Woo! He'll be good. We got a good chance tomorrow. And they're still undecided who they're going to go against. Brian Wu. Brian Wu pitches 6 innings, and they're solid. I think we're going to win. We just got the bats to, be better, and we're not going to have a shitty lineup like we did today. You can't win with a lineup like that. Like, what did Scott Service think with that kind of lineup? No Polo, no Rayleigh, no Cal, and then we're just going to magically get 12 hits and 8 runs? Hell no. So those are the type of moments where, Service, what are you doing? Other managers wouldn't have done that, but you did, 13 hits, 11 runs. Way to, lose the confidence of our guy, a guy that could have been an all-star right at the top with Logan Gilbert, and then you treat him like he's a scrub, like he's pitcher number 5. You can't treat George Kirby like he's Bryce Miller. You know what I mean? But I guess that's what we're doing. The good vibes. Where are we at on the likes? And again, we would have hit a lot better numbers if, at least on the like side, you guys have stepped up for me on the dono side. I appreciate it. Could have been a very, very low day overall. But we hit 34 likes. We need one more to get to 35. Hopefully we can at least get to 35 before. There we go. We got to 35. I would say 40 would be great, but the way that the game went, I don't blame, some of the viewership tuning out or turning the game off. But at least we hit the 35, so that's a success. So. Exactly. Yeah. Scott Service not helping out George Kirby whatsoever. And again, and that's why we need a manager that's better than Scott Service. His decision making a lot of times is not good. He pulls a pitcher too soon when they're having a great game, keeps a pitcher in too long when they're having a bad game. And that's also, in tune with having a shitty bullpen, again, they're going to give up the runs like they did after Kirby got out. So it was evident, but, there's a guy about to prove himself this year, Jed Fish. Jed looks like a teacher, like at a high school. One go back. Eddie Smith Jr., nice. We're at 37. We need 3 more likes to get to 40. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we did get a couple people to smash that like button. We need 3 more to get to 40. Anything else that you guys want to be able to see photo-wise? I'm going to go take Paisley for a long walk, get some fresh air, and try to forget about this terrible matchup here that we had against the Tigers. And again, I'll be live tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. And then on Thursday, we'll play at 10 a.m., and we'll see what happens in that particular matchup. So. Anything else that you guys want to be able to see before we call this one a day? Okay. What about you, Reflect? Anything else you want to be able to see? No worries. I wouldn't expect you to be. It's fine. All right, we'll end it with a little Better Call Saul from my boy Reflect. Thank you guys so much, for the dono love, the likes and the shares and the subs and everything that we got here today with this shellacking. GG to all the Tiger fans. 15-1. Skubal is great, best pitcher in baseball. But the Mariners, we will not give up. We have the Mariner Moose on our side, and luckily we don't have to go against Skubal every fucking day. the rest of the year. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. So I like our chances if he has a good game. Thank you to everyone that smashed the like button and participated. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay. Go Mariners.